studied about what can cause infectious diseases. That was viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. So we are doing page 116 and 17. We studied about 4 things that cause infection to your body. That is viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Now, today, we will wind up our lesson with, I think we finished with water and food and person to person. Animals to people. Did we do this or no, guys? Did I say you got malaria?
Yeah.
Contaminated object, yes.
We did.
Like drinking glasses, utensils, sharing the utensils. Utensils is like all of the spoon and the big drinking glasses, utensils, doorknobs. Like example, someone suffering from coronavirus has opened the door and I touched it again. So I have a chance to get infected if my immunity is weak. Doorknobs, towels, keyboards, many other objects can transfer pathogens from one person to another. People who inject illegal drugs. There are people who are taking illegal drugs which are not allowed, such as heroin, can easily pick up pathogens from contaminated needles. What they do is sometimes they share the needles. So with that, they easily get contaminated. The traces of contaminated blood on a needle can infect a person who shares the needle. So we have to be very careful to use the blades when they are sharing something. Now, the scenario is here, a person with a cold sneezes in a bus full of people. What do you think? How could that disease be transmitted? What do you think? Yes, Dana, tell me. A person with the scenario, the scene is that a person is there in the bus, he sneezes. He had severe cold. So how could it be transmitted to others? What is the route?
From the air.
In the air, okay. Anything else? Maybe
like touching stuff.
Yeah, by touching, right?
Yeah, like chairs and.
Okay, the next scenario is a person with a skin fungus shares a towel with another person.
Yeah.
The skin, right? From the other person's skin, it gets transmitted. The fungus goes through the skin. This is what they have written here in the answer, that the cold virus could be carried by droplets in the air and people nearby could inhale the contaminated air. Inhale, we will take that air inside while breathing and we can get the cold virus. Second one, the towel can transmit the skin fungus from one person to the other. From one person to the other. Now here. And transmission. How can these diseases be reduced? A variety of technologies used today allow some food to be stored longer. Because when your mom gets meat or milk, which is prone to bacteria, that has more chances of bacterial infection, what do you think? She comes and she says you immediately, please keep these into refrigerator. Keep this in the fridge. Why?
Because. Yes, but now she doesn't say that.
Why?
Because she says wash it first.
Of course, she washed the water from outside.
Yeah.
Then they keep it inside. But why do they say to keep it in the fridge? Why?
Because the chemicals does not go.
Because the bacteria inside, it will not grow in temperature. In this temperature, the bacteria will not grow. All right? Because refrigerator have some very cold temperature. In that very cold temperature, this bacteria of milk and meat will not grow. Even in the fruits, they will not get, because you know when it is very hot, the bacteria grows very fast. They multiply faster. Okay? So, how can diseases be reduced? Several important, let someone read. I'm tired of talking, and talking.
I want to read.
Come on, read this paragraph and then I'm gonna explain you.
Okay. How can disease be reduced? Several important changes have helped decrease the occurrence of infectious disease. These changes include improved personal hygiene and improved technology used in medical procedures and food preservation. Today,
Preservation. How do you preserve food? You food preserve by storing in refrigerator and very low temperatures. Personal hygiene, we have special body wash, we have special things that is keeping us clean. We have sanitizers, we have many things. Technology used in medical procedures, when they are cutting the wound, they know how to keep away the bacteria. They are using the sterilization process. They are keeping the hospitals clean. So these all are the procedures which they improved on. Now, continue.
today, vaccines are used all over the world to prevent many serious diseases. Modern medical.
One second. I told you about vaccines. Who will say me what are vaccines?
Vaccines are
Give a medicine to the body through the injection. Directly to the body. You give injection and you put a medicine inside so that you put that virus or bacteria inside so that our body fights from before. Okay, continue.
modern medical procedures using sterilized equipment, gloves, and
Girls,
masks help.
sorry. Sterilized. Do you know the word sterilized? Do you know the word sterilized? Modi or Majduleen or anyone, you know what the meaning of sterilized?
I don't.
No? Okay.
No,
Today,
no.
if you don't know, please write it there. Sterilize means to clean it so much that it get free from bacteria or something. Like example, you know, for your siblings, your mom boils his bottle, the feeder. You know on the feeder they drink milk, the bottle they drink milk. Your mom boils it. Why? To sterilize it, to keep it away from bacteria. Although she washes it, but she knows that washing is not enough. She puts in hot water and lets it sterilize. When when you treat some hot water, that thing gets completely clean. The bacteria on it, what you cannot see, it kills. Okay?
Miss, what do we write? Miss, what do we write?
Just write sterilize means cleaning or washing with hot water, but actually we are not just using hot water. Sometimes hot air is used. You can write keeping away from bacteria. Keeping away from bacteria.
Okay.
Okay. So even gloves, equipments, masks, okay, they reduce contamination and improve patient recovery.
Complete.
Yes.
Contamination and improve patient recovery. Modern scanning, freezing, dehydration, pickling, and refrigeration help prevent contamination of food.
That means keeping in the refrigerator. Pickling means you just add some vinegar. And you put it in the fridge and keep those things.
Yeah.
Past shared
Pasteurization. It's called as pasteurization. You know, when you buy a milk bottle like Almarai or something, it's written there pasteurized milk. Before coming it to you, it is controlled. Yani the bacteria is already killed. They heat the milk before sending it to you, so that the bacteria are killed.
Okay.
Okay. Is the controlled heating of beverage or food such as milk and cheese to kill bacteria?
Now, question 16 here is, which methods of food preservation do you use at home? How do you preserve food at home?
With the
In the
Fridge.
fridge, refrigerator, or freezer, right? Correct.
Yeah.
Now, how can diseases be treated? This is something important. Remember, only two things can treat them: antibiotic and antiviral drugs. Antibiotics and antiviral drugs.
Right.
Read it.
How can disease be treated? Scientists are constantly discovering new ways to fight disease. Antibiotics have had a major impact on fighting
major impacts, yani a huge change on fighting some pathogens.
An antibiotic is a medicine used to kill or slow the growth of a bacteria and other microorganisms such as fungi.
Girls, when I say antibiotic, what should you remember? Your mom gives you
Medicine.
that white color syrup, right? Which is mixed with water. The powder is mixed with water with a very different taste.
Viruses such as those that cause cold are not affected by antibiotics, and antibiotics block cell process. A virus
Relies on its host to survive.
relies host cell to survive and does not have its own cell process for the antibiotic to block.
So if the person having a virus, if he's taking antibiotic, that is no use, because the host is infected with the virus and the virus is increasing there. We need an antiviral drug that destroys viruses or to prevent their multiplication. Replication means multiplication. Now girls, this is resisting arrest. A microscopic world of organisms exists all around us. Bacteria live in your mouth, on your skin, and on many objects that you touch every day. Most bacteria are harmless. However, some strains of bacteria that cause diseases are no longer affected by antibiotics. Some of them, because we take antibiotics, so it gets killed inside. Some strains like Staphylococcus aureus had developed a resistance to antibiotic. That means that cannot be killed with antibiotic. Your money may carry more than just value. At least 93 different types of bacteria have been identified on dollar bills. Girls, during the corona, you remember they were saying that because even though we are wearing the gloves, but we are giving the, what do you call, as 10 real, not coin, we don't have coin, we have paper, right? We have 10 real paper or the money. During that, most of the bacteria and viruses are being exchanged. They say that at least 93 different type of bacteria were found on the dollar notes, on the dollar bills.
Yeah, there's like so
All the
much
places
people
each
said.
visit traveled, yes. Now, that's why we say after contacting Sopata, being in contact with the different people and object, increase your exposure to a variety of microscopic organisms. Washing your hands throughout the day can help reduce your risk for some infections. Okay, what is the name and type of pathogen discussed in this article? What is the name, girls? What is this name? Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus aureus. You don't need to remember the name. Salmonella. Salmonella is usually for that stomach cramp when you have loose motions, that is diarrhea and vomiting. That is usually bacteria present in the food. I think by this we have finished the lesson. And
So we're gonna
show you the... Yeah, I will send you. First, finish writing the first lesson. Now, coming to this page, a disease that can be passed from one person to another. What is a disease that can be passed from one person to another? Infectious
Disease.
or non-infectious?
Oh, infectious disease.
Okay. A type of pathogen that depends on living organism to reproduce. Which pathogen? It depends that it has to enter inside the body, then only it will grow. Which type of pathogen? Fungi, bacteria, which type?
Virus.
Excellent, virus. List 4 ways an infectious disease can be transmitted. What are the 4 ways?
Another person.
Through animal, through another person, through water and food, and contaminated objects.
Okay.
Some infectious disease caused by bacteria and fungi can be treated using... What do you use?
Antibiotics.
Bacteria?
Antibiotics.
Rest you will write it later. And we'll just put the video because we have 10 more minutes. 15, I think so, 15 more minutes. Girls, did I go fast or you understood the lesson?
No, I'm just...
Alhamdulillah. I wish to hear it from Noor. Inshallah, fix your mic and you'll be with us, okay? Yes, she's writing here, she's typing here. Good, dear Noor. Yes, it's really easy. Thank you, dear. Now here, let me just play the video.
Infectious diseases. Is pathogens. Pathogens include bacteria, viruses.
I think the next slide.
Infectious diseases can spread in different ways. Click each picture to find out how infectious diseases may spread. Many infectious diseases that affect the respiratory system move from person to person directly through the air. Cold and flu viruses are commonly transferred when infected people cough or sneeze. These diseases can also be passed by touching an infected person. Other diseases, such as HIV or hepatitis C, can only pass from one person to another through the exchange of bodily fluids. A few diseases pass from animals to people.
This is the female mosquito, which comes and bites you, and it can happen, malaria can be caused by this.
Mosquitoes spread malaria. If an animal infected with rabies bites you, you can contract the rabies virus. Ticks spread the bacteria that cause Lyme disease. What happens if you eat food or drink water contaminated with a pathogen? You may get an infectious disease. Harmful bacteria cause most incidents of food poisoning. Cooking food thoroughly can kill pathogens and make food safer. Refrigerating food slows the growth of bacteria. Some infectious diseases can be spread by touching contaminated objects. The fungus that causes athlete's foot can live on the floors of damp showers or locker rooms. If you touch a contaminated doorknob or railing and then touch your nose or mouth, you could catch a cold.
That means, girls, It's not just touching through your hand and then you can be infected, because it doesn't go through your skin. That's if you touch your nose or mouth, or you just, wipe your nose with that. That's the reason they are saying just wash your hands, keep your hands washing.
Okay.
Many infectious diseases can be prevented or treated. Click the pictures to find out more. Good hygiene helps prevent the spread of infectious diseases. Washing your hands with soap and water kills pathogens. Hospitals reduce infections by keeping things clean or sterile and using antiseptic cleansers.
See, the word sterile, again I will tell you guys, it means, they treat it with hot water, or they treat with some hot gas so that the bacteria gets killed. You know the instruments they use in surgery for cutting, they use the scissor, they use those, especially if you are from the medical background, if your parents are doctors or your uncles, you know about these, that they use the instruments again, but they cannot use the same what they have used for the patient, so they sterilize it. They send it for sterilization. Sterile.
Properly pickling, canning, freezing, or dehydrating foods and pasteurizing milk make these foods safer by reducing pathogens. Communities also treat public water supplies to reduce pathogens, making the water safe to drink. Ouch! Vaccines are often given in the form of a shot.
Who's scared of vaccine here? A lot, too much, yani. Who's very scared of the vaccine?
Me.
Me.
Me. What did Noor write here? Even you, Noor?
Miss, I would like cry and kick and scream when my parents
You
like
scream?
I just
Good.
yeah, I'm like
Normally someone comes and pinches you. You just say ouch. It's just a pinch actually.
no.
Not that much. See, Noor is here writing, not that much. I could expect that. And Judy,
No, I
you
hate
will
it.
cry, okay? And Zishan, how about you?
Yeah, Miss, I'm afraid from it and I bite the doctor.
Yeah. You know, girls, like when I was a kid, of course, like you all, I used to get scared. But then when I was in my college for the pharmacist, as a pharmacist, I was studying. That time they told us to prick our own hand and take out the blood to test, yani, to see in the microscope. And I was so scared. I used to say, my friend, you do it for me. I am not gonna prick it. I'm not, we have a pricking needle where you just put, like, you know how they test the sugar. Just prick it, not even injection. But I was scared. But then again, just, every week we used to have a lab, and every week when we did that, then I was relaxed. Now, okay, now I can just give my hand, come on, do it. It's okay.
Me even like my parents were like so embarrassed because my sister was just like didn't do anything, my little baby sister, but me,
Yes.
I was like screaming.
Yeah, it happens, the fear. I've seen people running away from hospital and, they hold them and come back, get back. And one more thing, like, think never, while they do that, while they inject it, never see to the injection and keep your mind somewhere else. Anyways, let us play. I know I'm out of the topic, but I need to talk to you all also.
I want to do something. It's like this?
Getting a shot may hurt for an instant, but the vaccine you receive protects you against viral infections. Each vaccine prevents a certain kind of virus. Influenza, measles, and polio are all diseases that can be prevented with vaccines. What should you do if you think you have an infectious disease? Diagnosis is the first step in curing the disease. Doctors determine the pathogen that causes the disease by looking at symptoms and doing tests. They need to know what caused the disease.
As I told you, when you go to the doctor again and again with the same thing, you say that I take antibiotic, but still I have fever. I take antibiotic, but still I have this. I am trying to do this, but still. So what they do next, last thing, first they try to see the symptoms, like what are you suffering? Then next time when they call you, they try to do the tahleel, what is the test, the lab test, and they see the reports to come to a decision.
What describes an infectious disease?
Come on, who will say?
Click your answers.
Is it?
Remember, there may be more than one correct answer.
Come on, can spread from one person to another. It's infectious or non-infectious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Infectious.
Next, cannot pass from one person to another. Wrong. Maybe caused by a parasite. It can be caused by a parasite.
No.
Environmental factors. Infectious. What do you think? Which one?
Maybe caused by environmental factors.
No, parasite, girls.
Oh.
Because parasite is a pathogen. Fungi, pathogen, all these. Okay?
Okay.
That's right. Infectious diseases can spread from one person to another. They are caused by pathogens. A parasite is one type of pathogen. Non-infectious diseases are caused by environmental factors or
This is the
genetic.
main objective of the lesson. By the end of the lesson, you must know that infectious diseases with pathogens, that is virus, fungi, and non-infectious diseases with environmental factors or genetics, that is from Viratha, from your forefathers or father or your mom. Okay? Yeah, next.
They cannot be passed from one person to another. How are infectious diseases spread? Choose the best answer to the question.
By animals and people only. By animals, people, food, and object. By people only. By food and people only. How is it? How are they spread? Who's gonna try this?
By animals, people, food, and objects.
Good, good. Noor, first and last one. And see, yes, see, the second one includes all. Animal, people, food, it includes all.
That's correct. Infectious diseases can be spread in several ways. Some are spread from person to person. Others, such as malaria or Lyme disease, are spread from animals to people. Still other infectious diseases can be spread by infected food, water, or...
Back.
Yes. It got disconnected, and almost like we just have 4 minutes. Wait a minute, because I think I did not share the sound.
Yeah, because we couldn't hear anything.
Yes, I know it goes away. It goes away when. Let us try it out. What can you see on the screen?
Nothing.
Tell us. Better we until we have finished.